Hello, everybody. My name is RODGON. I'm an artist. I'm a designer. I'm a cartoonist. I'm an illustrator. I'm a little bit of everything. And today, I get to teach you guys something cool, something awesome, something that might help you guys be better artists. Hey. Hello, everything. How are you? So, we are getting close to finishing our sketchbook. We are super close to finishing our sketchbook. Like, ridiculously close. We have, once again, completed a ton of lessons for you guys. If you have not ever been in one of my classes, I spend about an hour or so teaching you guys the basic concepts of the whole act of drawing, especially from characters. I'm a character designer, I'm a caricature artist by nature, and I like to teach people how to draw things. That is my snick. That is what I like to do. That is what makes me happy in the morning. Being able to teach you guys concepts that are normally really hard to draw, but simplifying them to the point where they're actually manageable. Be it an entire system like a head or just the simple concept of an eye. I like making sure that you guys understand. Oh, buddy. Just pee on the carpet? Oh, no. That's not good. Let me go clean that up real fast. You gotta pass because you just came out of surgery, but you gotta be careful with that. Oh, puppy, 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 puppy. Well, luckily, I just hopped on here early so that I could get a little more drawing in. Did not expect my puppy to just come pee all over my carpet. Let's see. Clean now. Hopefully you don't come pee here all the time. But it's not gonna be good for you. Okay? No. Anyways. How are you guys doing? Where's RODGON? I was cleaning up my puppy's pee. He just got himself. I just got him fixed yesterday. So now he is like all groggy and like just kind of like not sure where he is and stuff like that. And it's been fun. Anyways, if you guys have never tuned into my classes, I teach you guys cool stuff like anatomy. I teach you guys stuff like proportions. I teach you guys stuff like simplification. I teach you guys things that are normally reserved for people that take art school or people that have a mentor or somebody that knows more than other people, like naturally gifted individuals. I like to break it down. I like to make things easy for people to understand, and it doesn't matter what styling you choose. I like to make sure that you guys have access to being able to do those. All right? These are old people. Anyways, what should we draw today, though? Simplification is hard? No, simplification is easy. The thing is, simplification is easy if you understand basic shapes, right? If you understand basic shapes, it becomes relatively easy to simplify things. So let me explain. So a little bit of knowledge of perspective, right? How to make spheres and cubes and stuff like that. A little bit of this type of knowledge combined with a little bit of anatomy knowledge, which means that you need to understand, for example, with your eyes. Your eyeball is a circle, a sphere, right? Connected to some nerves that goes into a hole inside of your head. This is what I mean by anatomy. You understand what shapes the actual organs are, so that whenever you try to draw an eye, all you have to do is draw around it to be able to draw an eye. If you put that inside of that hole again, you end up with an eye and an eye socket. If you use your bone structure as your measure for your eyebrows, then you get yourself your eyebrow ridge. If you understand how this inside part works, if you take the time to understand how your eye socket works, it kind of leads into your eye and then it leads into your temple. Okay? Has like a little hook that goes behind and comes back. So if you observe, you're gonna get farther than not observing your actual body and just following other people's methods and stuff, including mine, by the way. Like, you don't have to listen to what I say. It's not going to be necessarily like the truth all of all artists and all art or whatever. Every teacher has their flaws, and every teacher has their strengths. If you are going to be a person that teaches one way or your way or no other way, then you're a shitty teacher. Right? If you don't know how to explain something in several ways to be able to explain it to the fishies and to the monkeys and to the elephant people, right? Because not everybody's the same. Not everybody learns the same. And you can't explain and hope that everybody retains information the same way. So some people like to learn to draw from the inside out. Cool. I'll teach you how to draw from inside out. Some people like to draw from the outside in. If you like to draw outside in, all you gotta do is find those mapping points as well. It's gonna be a crazy, crazy, crazy ride for you guys if you're starting. Like, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, really, it's some people think of their drawings whenever they're drawing something. Some people like to begin with the outside shapes. Ta-da, right? Like, create the outside, create the volume, and then you go in and add detail inside. There are some people that like to draw the inside detail first and then build their characters out from there. Most of the time, people that are based in illustration tend to do things like this sometimes. And then people that are based on animation or comics or people that learn from those type of books, they learn like this. Can you ask a question? Of course you can ask a question, but you have to hit that like button a lot of times. So let's get ourselves to 5K likes. How about that? Can you talk about perspective form on the household objects? Ooh, yeah. Well, household objects are easy. Whenever you're drawing things like tables and stuff like that, you have to consider it like a checkerboard pattern. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Most of the objects inside of your home will not have a perspective that will taper. They just don't. We don't have much depth within the objects that we have in our household. So you guys have to get used to the two different kinds of perspectives. There are isometric perspective, which is where they're equal-sized things that just connect, right? They all point in the same direction. They're not necessarily tapering or anything into a horizon point. That is isometric perspective. This is what we use for character design most of the time. Why? Because our bodies don't taper. Our bodies don't get smaller because of how we're looking at this. We literally can't do that with our heads. We are not wide enough. This is used for like buildings and things that are super, super stretched out into the horizon. Okay? This is not necessary when you're drawing characters. When you're drawing characters, that's going to throw you off. For example, when you're drawing a head, if you don't taper it, it makes it really easy to draw the same shape for the eyes, the same shape for the mouth. The height is the same on both sides. If I want to draw front view, I just take that side. If I want to draw 3/4, I just start adding width to my head. Right? That's how easy it can be. And then you connect the middle of the circle to the chin. Ta-da! You have a nice little template that you can use to be able to draw your characters and have the elements be in the right place. Now, if you taper it, first of all, it's going to throw off your midline because now your midline doesn't have an equal footing to be able to put on. When you put on your teardrop or your chin, one's going to connect higher than the other. You don't do that with faces for that reason. You draw the same circle, maybe you angle the lines so that you can get different views, but you never taper it. That is one of the biggest pet peeves of mine. Whenever I see somebody draw heads and then they have one small eye and one big eye trying to compensate for that, trying to make it seem like they understand what they're doing, they don't know. Like anybody that does this does not know what they're drawing in perspective. They're drawing based on pure style, pure repetition, pure imitation of someone else, and then they're trying to make it with a little creativity, probably, making it look okay. So, understanding a very basic thing like isometric perspective can help you improve your drawings a lot. Your consistency might come up a lot more too, because you won't be wondering how big something's supposed to be. Like one ear on one side of the head is not going to be significantly bigger than the other ear on the other side. It's just not. Again, we don't have building perspective. Okay? And that's what throws off so many people. So, if you find yourself drawing heads like this, don't. Because this is making it really hard for you to be able to map things out right. It's just making it really hard. Just make a box. Face in a box. Just put your face in a box. Face in a box. Face in a box. If you want height, you add a little volume at the top. Again, this is just a cube. You get to choose which side you draw the head on. Any of the sides work. Any of them. So it doesn't matter where you do that. So once you get good enough with that, then you will be able to just draw any random shape and then find the front of the box. And you'll be able to draw characters with a bunch of personality and style in every single form, shape, and possibility. Yeah, the perspective isn't drastic at all. So you don't have to distort it too much. Character design is not hard. It's just normally subjected to people that understand this and are able to put in their own personality to things, right? When you're able to take all that knowledge and then apply it to things that you really like, Well, then you get to do character designs and stuff like that. I just got hired by Marvel again. So I get to do cool, chibi characters for them. Right? But to me, superheroes and stuff like that are easy. Things like that are really, really easy because I took the time to learn all this stuff. Right? Like a superhero in itself is one of the simplest things in the world. Like a Spider-Man. You take a rectangle, divide it into three, take that middle section and draw the eye. Ta-da! Taper this. You have Spider-Man. Oh, so hard. Oh, yeah, we're so hard right now. Spider-Man in 2 seconds. Oh, you want to draw it from the side? Divide it into three. Okay, cool. Draw my checkerboard there. Oh no, Spider-Man's so hard. Things, when you learn volume, it's gonna be really easy for you to draw things like this. Therefore, it's gonna give you a better chance to be able to get hired at all the places that you guys wanna get hired at. You guys wanna get hired at Disney? Learn this. You guys wanna get hired at Marvel? Learn this shit. I'm in so early today. Yeah, I just wanted to get an early day start. This is interesting when you think about the wide and long camera lenses. Yeah, well, when you're thinking about like things that are gonna distort your stuff, I don't know. I still think that whenever you're trying to do like extreme angles and stuff like that, it still works really easy. What is this method called? Dun 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 dun! It is my method, and I call it the triangle method. So it's essentially following a triangle and coming up with these poses, right? So if you learn how to do that, you take this section, and that's 1/3 of your face. So you double it up to come up with the top, and then you choose however wide you want your head. If you want a little kid, you make that part smaller. If you want an adult, you make that part bigger. So you have every variation within that structure really, really quickly. So it could be a comic book or a little kid or a kid's book illustration, whatever I feel like drawing that day. And it's all based on the same proportions. It's just changing one element of it, which is the box. Not the box, the teardrop. So let's go to the. So if we draw a box, boop-a-doo, we draw another box, doo-doo-doo-doo, and then we draw a little teardrop on this one, and we draw a big teardrop on this one. This one's gonna have the same head size. Only one's gonna look like a younger person, and one's gonna look like an older person. Just simply because I made the jaw structure, aka this part, a little longer. So I can also make it wider, I can make it thinner, I can make it anything I want. So whatever type of structure I choose to have, depending on the character that I need to create, I can change that variation to anything that I feel like, even extending beyond the shapes. This is just my bone structure. So if I have cheekbones and stuff like that, that gets extended. But understanding how you can use a simple concept like that to be able to create illustrations that are a little bit more based on real anatomy, even if they are cartoon, is awesome. The RODGON method. Yeah, it is my method. I came up with that. Me, my nerdy ass self Boom, 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 boom. That's what you get when you obsess. You get methods. Rah. So understanding that if you just draw a box and a circle, you split that in half, you have the height of your ear. You split that in half too, but you split this one at an angle. Circle, circle. It's not tapering. Okay, again, it's not tapering, it's just skewed. So it's not like this, it's like that. Or like this. So it's never tapered because you don't want to lose the ability to draw your elements easy. Okay, when you see it from the bottom, you would see a little surface on the bottom. When you see it from the top, you would see it like that. Remember, it's a box. It's just a box. What's in the box? What's in the box? So any angle that you guys choose to go about it is going to be really easy. And check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. You want to draw your head's front view? Perfect. Just draw the box, so circles, and a teardrop. You want to draw 3/4? Okay. Add a circle. Ta-da! Why does it work? Because our brain is just magically triggered to seeing things like this. If you want it to be even more accurate, just move the midline. You move it a little bit. And that's it. That's all you do to create a 3/4 view. If you want to create a profile view, well, this midline is your profile view, right? So let's say that you want to create profiles really easy. I'm going to give you guys like the biggest tip in the world, okay? Let's draw just a simple character. Let's give it a nice little nose, a nice little mouth, and we add some eyes, some ears, whatever. Okay, so this line right here, this midline, this right here, okay? That's your profile line. What is your profile? Your profile is literally just your midline. This line is your profile line. So you follow that line, and then you take away one side. You make this circle bigger, and you have yourself a profile. It's not incredibly difficult, okay? It literally is. This is your midline. So if I added a little bit of girth here, I would have myself a 3/4. See what I mean? A lot of the times we overcomplicate it. So when we're drawing things like anime heads and stuff like that, just make your life simple. Split your spheres into 2 by drawing 2 circles, and then follow this line, and then curve it out. Connect it back, and this is where your mouth is supposed to be. Your eyes, right? And then when you want to shift that, you just go midline, shoofy. Ta-da! Oh, you want to rotate it up? Find the midline, shoopy. Connecting back to a little higher. You can draw all your little anime characters and stuff like that. Very simple. All you have to learn is how to move that midline to different places. That's it. This is the trick. That's the trick. Just learning how to do that little swoopy part. And then you can draw characters that are really simple in every direction you want. So if you want to draw little bears, find the midline, give this girth, and now you have a little bear. You want to draw a panda, give it some colors. Oh, you want to draw a different animal? Draw the little soupy, choose a different length, and now you have a mouse. You see what I mean? You just have to be creative with what you what you do. If you want to draw it frontal, you draw that towards the front, maybe give it a little bit of a surface, and then you can draw your characters looking forward. And you also have a midline to be able to put your mouth on. So that's something that you guys can just easily do, but we normally overthink these things. The midline with a little soupy or a little fin, you can think about it like a fin, like a shark fin coming out of the water. The midline with a shark fin gives you access to a nice little fun midline. Little shark fin. Whatever type of line you draw, shark fin, and now you have a different angle. Okay? You don't have to overcomplicate it. Circle, midline, really long shark fin. What does that do? Let's see. What can we make with that? Could be like a little ducky, little goose. Anything with a beak. Let's see. If we make that little sushi, that box, we can start drawing things that have more round snouts, like dogs and stuff like that. So once you understand the concept, you can adjust it to be anything else you want. And the level of detail that you put onto these is irrelevant. So now we have a different way of drawing the head, right? It's now the midline by drawing a circle, and then we adjust the midline past the middle. Why past the middle? Let me explain why past the middle. So if you want to draw something cute, you want to give it a big forehead. Your head is going to be divided into 4 quadrants, right? Your forehead, the back of your head, and the top of your head is going to be up here. The back of your head and all your features right here. All your features. So if you divide this and you consider this your eyebrow line, don't consider this your eye line. Everybody messes up right there. The moment that you make this your eye line, right? If you make this your eye line, you're taking away most of the detail or the space for your forehead. So therefore, your hair is going to end up right here, and you're going to end up with a character that looks eh. It's just not going to look great. It's going to look like it has a receding hairline. You're going to run out of space. What you got to aim for is figuring out that all your features fall within this little area right here. This area is the magical area for your features. For here, your nose is going to stick out. Your chin is going to stick out. And sometimes, depending on your mouth structure, your mouth is going to stick out. So, whenever you're considering this little section, leave it open for drawing anything you need to. So, if you need to draw a big chin, draw a big chin. If you need to draw a small chin, you draw a small one. You don't concern yourself. This is not connected to your body, right? Again, your jaw has nothing to do with the connection to your neck. Nothing. It's like saying that your thumb is affecting your pinky. It just doesn't affect it. Your actual head, let's draw a really basic structure right here. Okay. The upper part of your skull is what connects to your spine. And that spine connects to your collarbone. Or your rib cage, actually. The collarbone just happens to be the top part of the rib cage. Okay? So whenever you're drawing, you're focusing on this upper part by focusing on these upper thirds. You're going to focus on this general area as the connecting point right here. So the jaw, whatever you draw right here coming out, is going to be attached more so to the front of your skull than to your actual spine or neck. So you tuck that in underneath and you have yourself a structure. So what's happening is you have your neck and your head be one solid shape. This is one big solid shape. And then you have your jaw structure that comes in after that. Your jaw structure is separate from the top of your head. So if you start learning how to divide it how I'm teaching you, you can focus on this upper part, draw the neck, and then later on you draw your teardrop and you draw around your neck. So understanding the actual jaw structure of the neck, it really isn't all that difficult either. Draw your spine as a simple line. Then you're going to draw one circle for the base, one circle for your jaw structure, and one circle for the top of your head. You go front, taper, go up for your ear. You could do that like that as well. Split this into 3. Find the side of your face, and you have yourself your mapping points. So understanding it can come in a bunch of different ways. You can do a figure 9, and then draw a circle, and you have access to a jaw structure there. And you can do a figure 9 in different directions, that circle wider or thicker, and you have access to drawing heads in different positions. You know, there's a ton of different ways that I've developed myself. I'm not saying that all of the ones that I learned are just my clear, distinctive lessons, but a lot of the things that I do is because I observe people and I just like to pay attention. Right? So a figure 9 from the front is that. You draw a circle, circle, connect the top, taper the bottom. Ta-da! And then when you come to this part, that circle becomes a box. And you have access to all those mapping points again. So once you find the bottom of your ear, you can find the box. Because the bottom of the ear falls at the bottom of the box. Ta-da! Because that's where your neck starts coming up. Everything is like a connect the dots. Everything is. So you just need to learn how those connect the dots work. Now let's get me to 15,000 likes, and I will show you guys how you can improve your drawings of animals and cute stuff. And I'm gonna teach you guys how to create one of the most adorable little things that you guys will be able to use for mascots or for anything. So we're gonna draw my favorite animal, and that is a red panda. I'm gonna teach you guys how to draw a really simple red panda that you guys can go ahead and play with, so that you can also draw little cute, adorable little pandas. And if you guys draw any of these, you guys have to tag me so that I can see them. Because I love watching people draw pandas, especially little red pandas. Okay. So once we get to 15,000, I'll give you guys a little baby tutorial on how to draw one of these, and then show you variations that you can do to draw your little kitties, your animals, your I don't know, your pets, maybe some little monsters for your own individual stories. And let me show you guys some examples of like how I normally use these guys. I like using them for drawing purposes like that, but I also like drawing them with my characters. Let me see, where did I draw? I drew a bunch of pinups. There's a bunch of little pandas. This page was fun. Yeah, that page was really fun. Pinup time. Where's my pinups? I normally always draw pinups with really cute animals because it's a super nice contrast, right? Whenever you're drawing somebody that's really attractive or super pretty, adding a cute element to it is always going to make it an incredibly more appealing drawing. That is my pursuit. My pursuit into the world of pinups was to give an understanding how you can contrast beauty and cute at the same time, and how it will be like not the same thing, but contrasting, but still complementary. Let's see, where's the last one that I did? Because I just did a Misty. Oh, no, I just did these two. Little things like that. You have cute, creepy. You contrast things and you make it look even cooler. Okay? Learning to contrast not just the line work, but also being able to contrast the themology underneath it can help you create some really, really dope things. I was working on Misty, so I got to work on her Pokemon. So I got to do a Psyduck, I got to do a Togepi, I got to do a Squirtle, and I got to do a Staryu. And I got to put them on her tattoos. So that's going to be my next piece. I want to do that probably this weekend. And I might add that as a print for my pinups book. When I release it for print, I might release it like that. So did we get to 15? Yes, we got to 15,000. Okay, let's take some time to draw some pandas. All right, so in order to draw a really cool panda, you have to start with a big head, right? So red pandas, here I'm gonna draw one a little bit different so that you see the variations. So a red panda can have a really big head. So we also wanted to have a really big forehead because we want to make them look cute. So if we take a simple circle and we draw a circle inside, this is going to give us a guideline for the front of our face and also for the back of our head. We don't really need the back of the head for this particular illustration, but it's also good whenever you're trying to draw your head, because when you're trying to draw human heads, you need to find your spine. If you draw from the front, you can draw your front and you can find your back, which is going to help you understand how to draw through your shapes and be able to come up with cooler poses and stuff. But that's another lesson for another time. This midline, at the bottom of it, you're going to draw a little circle and a circle inside. A little circle and a little circle inside. Wherever you want that face to point, that is going to be your little snout and your little nose. Close to the nose, you don't want to draw them too separate. Really close to them, I want you to draw two little dashy lines going to the sides. Two little dashy lines is going to give you the indication of movement. It's not going to keep your character looking stiff. Like drawing your lines like this will make them look sleepy, but drawing them look a little slanted, it's gonna give them a more active look. I know it's minuscule, right? It's darn minuscule in size and nature, but it makes such a big difference. If you point them down, they're gonna make them look sleepy or sad. So you can get a bunch of expressions just by a simple angle change in a line. That's beautiful, huh? So from there, we want to come up with their ears. So we're going to find the midline, which is the midline is going to be a little bit above my eyes. So this character is looking down, so the midline goes this way. This character is looking up, so the midline goes this way. we also draw through our shape with a circle. Instead of splitting it up like this, don't do that. This is not going to ever teach you how to deal any sort of volume. It doesn't take any longer. Just draw a little curvy line and emphasize one of them. And you're going to have a much, much, much easier time doing things later on, like drawing eyes and stuff like that too. Because you use triggers, what I call triggers, to be able to pinpoint where you want something to look. Okay? So you use this to find the midpoint, and then you use that midpoint to draw elements in the right place. You don't always use that as your mapping point for your feature. What if this is here? I just have to draw all the features below it. Right? Spatial awareness is very important. Understanding that this line is giving you everything as long as you're spacing it accordingly in every single situation. Okay? The elements are simple so that we can keep it simple, so that we can have fun with it. A lot of this information, when you try to complicate your elements, right? And you're trying to draw all this detail and like cool converging stuff, you know, a lot of the times we get lost in that detail and we just lose track of actually drawing the pose right or doing something that looks awesome. We're focused too much on proving ourselves to people, because that's normally why we do that. We don't do this whenever we're trying to like have fun with our drawings. Most of the time, whenever we're trying to prove something, build a thing for a line to get clout or whatever, that's when we focus and we're like, oh, this is horrible. Ugh. When we're just drawing for fun, we just normally kick ass. And we don't normally like concern ourselves too much with, oh, it came out wrong. Okay, cool. We just kind of do it, move on, and then do that. That's how you should approach every single one of your drawings. But anyways, let's continue on. If you wanted to keep it like this, like a little bear, that'd be perfectly fine. You can just keep a little bear, make a little tuft, and give it some ears on the top. You could totally just keep it there, and then any animal that has any sort of semblance to that, you could just add different ears and make yourself a little potato dog. So if your little puppy's a potato, you can always just draw little potato dogs, potato bears. Doesn't have to be overly complicated to be really cute. Okay? Now, if you want to draw something a little bit more complex, like long ears, you need to understand how the quadrants of your head works. And let me explain that over here. So we already divided this 2 circles, and we decided to draw the mouth. Okay, so we have the up to there, right? We understand up to there. If I wanted to draw really big ears, I would have to find a line a little bit above here, a little bit close to here, leaving a little space in between, and then just bringing it up to a point. Okay, a little bit here, a little bit here, and then I draw a point, and then I connect it. Now, this just looks like a flat triangle. You need to give it width by adding a little triangle to the side and changing the color of it. What essentially you're doing is you're doing this. You're creating a very complicated shape that's going up, down, and around. But you're simplifying it by mapping points on a sphere. Okay? You go 1, 2, and a dot. And then you give it girth after you figure out where your ear is supposed to go. So depending on where your ears are gonna go, you can end up doing something like this. you end up choosing the direction, and then you give them girth. You choose the direction, and then you give them girth. And you can do that, bend them, stuff like that, if you feel like it. So that is how you would approach ears. And then you just add the little tufts at the side, depending on how. If the same way you did the ears, you go out and back in, out and back in. Add a little triangle for the markings of the red panda. And then the body, don't make it any bigger than half of his body. So you take this little half, and then you just make it black. Why black? Because red pandas have black bodies. They have little stripy parts for their tails, and their tails are nice and toothy too. They're not like smooth, they're tufted. Underneath him, draw a little straight line that's a little sketchy, and add some light plants on the side. You can frame him so that he can be in like a little jungle or a zoo, depending on what type of scene you're trying to draw. And then as you get better at those, you can just make them into anything you really want. So once you get good at drawing these little tiny baby red pandas, right, you can turn that into a dolphin. You can turn that into absolutely anything you feel like once you understand more anatomy, more reference. Once you live a little bit more of your life and you understand that you can draw pretty much anything if you understand the base shape. Okay? Once you understand the base shapes, it's all about modifying those a little bit, and then you have access to drawing other animals. Be it horses, giraffes, anything that you ever wanted to draw can be drawn with these shapes. It's just fun. Dragons are so easy. Dragons are so easy and so cool. So let's start with what we've been teaching you. I'm going to teach you guys how to draw a dragon with your box method, okay? So if you draw a box, and then dragons are never going to look good looking completely forward. So we're going to shift the midline a little bit to the side. We're going to add a little circle, and we're going to use this a little different than we would for a human. The nose bridge for our dragon is going to be considerably bigger than the nose bridge for a human. So on a human, we split this in half, and then we draw our circles because our nose is really tiny. For a thing like a dragon, their eyes are a lot smaller and their nose canal is a lot bigger because we need to be able to draw snout. Now this triangle also is going to work as a hinge to allow you to draw your lower lip, your lower mouth, sorry. Dragons don't have to be incredibly difficult. They're just normally structured a tiny bit different than humans. Let's draw a little cartoony one so you guys understand a little bit more. Okay? So I'm gonna draw whatever here. I'm gonna draw some horns coming out of the top. Nice long mouth. Draw some. Then most of the eyes for dragons are going to be at the top of their head, and they're going to be receded into their face canals. they're going to have width to both parts of their heads. So if you want to add width to like a dragon or a dinosaur, just add a little back part and then fill it in with black. Their actual necks are going to be considerably thick compared to their actual jaw structures. And they normally tend to have a separation between the top and the bottom of their jaws. So, and then when you start putting any sort of tones to create a little bit more depth and stuff, that's when you start getting the real power between just learning how to draw your overlapping shapes. Drawing bodies for them, a lot of the times they're so big that they don't fit within the same frame. So we have to learn a little foreshortening to be able to fit them completely in there. Another way to draw dinosaurs or dragons is by just doing this. Okay. Depth. Zigzaggies. Add depth. Add bumpies. Horns. Tongue. Other horn. Sometimes they have little horns coming out of the side right there too. And then they have a little webby part for the part of their mouth. So that is how you would draw them. See, I like drawing dragons because I like to draw a little bunny. There's a little bunny that I draw, and that bunny kills dragons. So his name is Bernie, because he's all burnt. Half his body is burnt. And half his body's all cute and adorable. But he's always hunting dragons with his magical hand. He's like, he's a very sadistic little bunny. He does not take kindly to dragons at all. And let's see him fighting a dragon. And then he's gonna be blowing the dragon's brains out. But all the dragons need to look sadistic in his story. They can't look cute. You're jealous of my line confidence. It's something you can have too, dude. It's not something you have to be jealous about. You just have to draw as much as me or more. That's all you have to do. You just have to draw as much as me or more than me. More than me to catch up. About as much as me to keep up. Anyways, let's see. What else do you guys want to learn? We've been drawing cute faces in a bunch of different ways. But is there anything in peculiar that you guys would like to learn? Are you also working on your own IPs for publication? Yeah, I always work on my own stuff on the side. Kangaroo, a turtle. Let's do a turtle. Turtles are easy. Just have to learn to overlap some lines. Well, I guess that's a tortoise more than a turtle. Turtle, like a sea turtle, maybe. They have bigger. There you go. Sharks. Sharks are fun. Sharks have one of the weirdest like shapes for like fishes in general. Mostly because their bodies and their mouths fit underneath their snout. The difference between things like fish, like sharks, and also between species like whales is the tail. The tail will just point in a different direction. So let's say you have like a killer whale, you have like Shamu. He has its tail going sideways as opposed to its tail going up and down like a vertical. And that's how you distinguish a mammal from a fish in the water. A lion, let's see. Do I remember what a lion looks like? All right, so we have that. Then he's gonna have his little poofy tufts. He's gonna have some poofy tufts on the side. He's gonna have a nice big nose bridge. I forget if they have really large, big, like ridges. Then he's gonna have whatever tufts, his little ear. I think he looks a little too much like a bear. But, oh well. A kitsune? Why is this all cute? I have guy. Why is this all cute? Well, it's because I draw cute. I like drawing cute. I am like this like big scary Mexican dude. And all I like to draw is cute stuff. Like if you saw me in person and you ever saw me like with a girlfriend or whatever, you would assume that my girlfriend is the one that draws all this stuff. Like if you saw me in person with my resting bitch face, you would never, ever, ever assume that I like drawing incredibly cute, adorable things. You just would never, ever, ever assume so. And I absolutely love that dynamic. Like it makes me feel so cool and happy knowing that nobody expects that from me. Draw a snake in the simplest way you can. There you go. Oh, wait, hold on. You must love Kanye's graduation album? Not really. I don't really like Kanye West. I don't really know what album you're talking about either, because I'm not really good at music. I don't really know. I don't really even really know like the songs that Kanye West is in. So no. If you think that I'm a music freak, I am not. Like I barely know that Eminem is in Skittles. Okay. That's that's how much. The arm. The arm. The arm. Okay, so the arm has your shoulder. Then you have a bone, and then you have two bones. Okay, so that's what your arm looks like. And then you have muscles. The bicep goes in the front. The tricep starts in the back. Pew, 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 pew. Then you have your forearm that wraps around your elbow, and it comes around the middle of your bicep, and it comes out in the front. It wraps around your bones, and it comes out like this. Then you have a little bit of a space right here that a lot of people miss. And then we have this that goes onto your elbow. And then from here, you have your structures that go down your bone. And then you have a little bit of a muscle that goes on the other side. Then you go onto your hand. Your hand is not going to be much different in width than your wrist. Normally, your thumb is what generates that width. From there, you have your knuckles. And those knuckles have individual fingers that you can curve. In this case, there's no space. When you rotate this around, you end up moving those two muscles, those two bones. You end up with your hand right here, and then you end up doing shoulder, bicep, tricep, forearm. From the middle, it comes around. It comes around the bicep. Okay? Not like this. Not curved this way. No, it curves around, going up. This throws people off. Having that little muscle curve that way gives you that little bulge in the front. If your hand is pointing up, you're going to have a higher aptitude of having that one bone or that muscle stick out more if your hand is up. If your hand is down, you're going to have a higher likelihood of that bottom being a little more enhanced. Okay? So your arm bumpy goes up if your hand goes up. Your arm bumpy goes down if your hand goes down. Okay? So when you're drawing characters and you have your hand pointing down, most of the volume is going to go to the bottom. If you have your arm pointing up, your hand pointing up, most of that volume is going to go towards the top. You're still going to have a little bit on both sides, but it's mostly going to be majority towards the side where you want your hand to be pointing. And that's why this forearm part is so incredibly annoying, because it's subjective to how you are positioning your hand. Let's see. Your bicep, whenever you're drawing your stick figures and stuff like that. Okay? Always draw the outside edge of your arm and then bring it into your body. Why? because it makes it easy to be able to draw a volume like this. Outside edge, inside volume. Outside edge, inside volume. Once you find that connecting point between, you can move that around in any direction you feel like, right? You do that once or twice, and you're gonna find those magical little points to be able to move your character around. But when you're drawing things that go around or overlap, it's good to draw the outside edge so that you have overlapping shapes for the inside. Okay? Always draw the outside edge and then the inside volume. Outside edge, inside volume. Even if it is the most simple poses, it's just gonna make it a lot easier for you to do that. Okay? Outside edge, inside volume. Even if it's more complex shapes you want to create. Outside edge, inside volume. Okay? Outside edge, inside volume. Go be ninjas. Art ninjas. No, we're just giving us a lot of tips on the face, then giving you guys a lot of tips on how to draw simple characters, and then tipping you guys a lot of tips on how and where to find your facial features on your faces, and then teaching you guys how to rotate a simple red panda so that you guys can create some cute things like animals and stuff like that. And then giving you guys an idea of how and why you should practice learning how to do things that simple before you start doing complex shit that is a million times harder. So if you don't have the ability to move a little simple red panda in space, what makes you think you're gonna be able to move something that is 10 times more complicated than this? Practice the basics through simple stuff like little animals, little happy faces. It doesn't have to be complex. You just need to learn how to rotate that element around in space. Okay? If you don't know how to do this, everything else is gonna be insanely harder. Even things like this will become hard. Okay? Even little things like this, a little soupy, is gonna become a lot harder for you because you just don't have the ability to see it. But once you practice a little, you can use that to your advantage and be able to create absolutely anything incredibly easy. Your anime, use a new page? Nah, don't tell me what to do. You have a second. First of all, I don't like people spamming. Second of all, I really don't appreciate people telling me what to do. And third of all, I find it incredibly rude that you're telling me when to move on to a new page. So shut up and just either listen to the stream or stop annoying me and telling me what to do. How about that? That simple. I don't like people doing that. I think it's rude as hell. And I get to be rude. It's my class. Okay. Anyways, you guys have a lovely, lovely evening. Hope you guys have a fantastic... It's a Saturday, huh? It's a Saturday. So have a fantastic Saturday. You guys kick some booty. You kick some ass. Have a lovely day. Hope you guys learned a little. Hope you guys learned a lot. And if you did learn something, just go share it with someone that could be useful for it. I don't care if you give me credit. Take credit for it. I don't care. Okay? Be like, ooh, you want to see the thing I learned? Cool. Absolutely. As long as someone else is learning this stuff, I don't care. Okay? You guys have a lovely day. Make sure that you guys... Your homework is just repeating these exercises in a way that is going to make you understand them. That's your homework. You don't really need me to dictate any like specific exercises. All you got to do is just repeat these 1,000 times, 2,000 times, 100, 10 times. 10 times will make it better than if you didn't do it any times. Do it 2 times. If 2 is better than nothing, right? But 1,000 is better than 2. Just saying. If you want to cement it, it's part of your job description to put the time in to learn this stuff. That's literally all you need to do. You don't need to go to art school. You just need to learn through osmosis sometimes, and just repetition, and just straight up through hard just studying. Like, a lot of the times it's not more complicated than that. It really isn't. But I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you guys so much. Once again, my name is RODGON. If you guys feel like supporting, there are things like books and stuff like that you guys can purchase. They're all full of cool sketches like the ones that I'm providing right here. Every one of my sketchbooks has pages filled to the brim like this with random stuff. I throw up on pages. I just go bloop. And each one of these is a lesson, a teachable moment, and a stream that we all did together. So it's awesome to be able to share these things with them. Right? And we're almost done with another one. So the next raw art sketchbook is going to come out soon. Anyways, love you all. You guys take care. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Toodaloo.